All right, I'm just adjusting my camera here, but okay. I'm watching UFC 200 right now. I guess I'm doing like a fight companion, not really, but I'm not going to be doing this for 300, so I might as well do this for UFC 200. I'm watching it. You guys might as well watch it with me. So I'm in the middle of Cain Velasquez versus Travis Brown.
Incredibly unusual, yeah.
Hold on. One sec. Let me just do something real quick. All right. So round one, Velasquez putting on that pressure on Travis Brown. And man, this is like the last of Cain Velasquez in his prime, in his like best years, you know? What's your top two favorite fights on the Saturday card? Whew. Good 1-2 by Cain. I don't know, to be honest. I might go with Pereira, Hill, and probably Gaethje Holloway, I'd say, to be honest. Holmer's, spinning back kick by Cain. This is the sequence where Cain Velasquez finishes Travis Brown. Oh, shoot. All right, I'm done with the tripod. Thing is annoying. My bad, guys. When Cain just dropped Travis Brown, this is like Cain in his prime. The last we've ever seen of Cain in his best years, and then he just had the back injury, took 3 years off, and fought Ngannou and died. But Cain right now is just clobbering Travis Brown on the canvas right now. Mine is Charles Armand. That's a good choice. It's a good choice, actually. I'm hyped for that fight as well. So I'm trying not to show my background here, but I don't really know what to do. Let me turn off this. Turn off my camera for a second. You know what? I might not even have my camera on. Screw it. Do you think Weili Yan ends in a finish? Excuse the rocky beginning of this video, but yes, I do. I think Yan Xiaonan gets crucifixed, TKO'd. That's what I think happens. Damn. Cain is just beating the crap out of Brown. He goes for another spinning kick. Like, he's just crazy towards the end of Cain's run. Like, he actually was making some improvements in his game, and then that was it. He basically retired for 3 years and then lost to Ngannou. Man, if there is any fighter I could bring back in their prime, it would 100% be Cain Velasquez, though. Like 100%. I think Suarez beats Zhang with the guillotine. Me too, my man. Me too. I'm very confident Suarez will finish her. And did you guys hear Marina Rodriguez saying that, she deserves the next title shot if she beats Jessica? Like, what? Like, in what world is she going to get the next shot? Like, I don't get it. Sang will duck Suarez. Oh yeah, the UFC is doing everything in their power to make sure that fight doesn't happen. Because they know it will happen. They know their golden girl will lose. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if they acted like Suarez didn't exist and if they gave Marina the next shot. Oh, easily. She dusts both. Oh yeah, I hope not as well. That would be so retarded. No, as soon as I turn on this camera, this thing can't get its shit together. That's crazy. Okay. It's probably gonna fall. But yeah, that's what I'm worried about too. I don't think Weili will take a year break. I think she'll fight again this year, but she's not one for quick turnaround, so we'll have to wait till December for Suarez versus Weili to happen. Home destroyed Ronda. Yeah, she did, and Ronda's out here like making like crazy excuses, saying like, "Oh, I fell down a flight of stairs, and that's why I lost." So that concludes the first fight of the pay-per-view: Velasquez versus Brown. Now they're showing a bit of the promo for Tate versus Nunes, which goes on later on. This is like the first time I ever heard of Amanda Nunes. I knew who Tate was. I didn't know who Nunes was, and I had a feeling Nunes was going to win the fight. I just had those vibes, but yeah, I don't know. The first time I ever heard of Nunes, but I didn't know she would ever go on to be that big. I didn't think she'd go on to be the greatest of all time. But I did think that Tate was going to get finished for some reason. Like, sometimes you just know. There's Nunes and Tate entering the arena. And now Aldo versus Edgar 2 is next. Weili took a long break after she fought Carla and after she fought Lemos. It's insane, though. It's crazy. Like, I don't get it. She could have fought in April and then fought Yan Xiaonan later on in the year, and then Suarez would be next. If she would have fought like in the Miami card last year against Lemos, she could have fought Suarez UFC China Yan UFC China in December. She could have fought her in China in December. Because I mean that's the reason why Weili didn't even fight in China. Because it was too quick of a turnaround. She needed more time. So if she would have fought the beginning of 2023, she could have fought the end of 2023, and then Suarez being next would just be undeniable. Really frustrating how that worked out. Like, Weili after this fight could fight again, like, I don't know, she could fight again like July or something like that. But she's gonna take till December. Round 2. I think she gets a round 2 sub. Aldo's fighting next month, man. I hope he gets it done. And this was like one of Aldo's best performances against Edgar coming off the McGregor loss. Sucks he didn't get the rematch, though. Let me just look at more of these comments. Oh, no more comments. Watching UFC 200 to prepare for 300. I already watched UFC 100 the other day, and that was better than 200 by far. Like, really good card, honestly. And I hope 300 could live up. That would be impressive as if she finished Zhang in 2 rounds. I know, but I think she could do it. I mean, she's finished Jessica inside 2. Not much stock to put into her finishing De La Rosa, but still. A lot of these big fights usually do end in the second round anyway. So I would not be surprised if she only needed 2 rounds to finish Zhang. And I think this weekend's main event's going to end in the second round as well. Ursag is going to give Pantoja problems. Wouldn't surprise me. But I see Pantoja winning, though. I just think with his toughness, his experience, his well-roundedness, he's going to get it done. I think this is like too soon for Ursag. He needs more fights and more experience in the UFC before fighting for the title, you know? Frankie Edgar in the octagon. That guy's an absolute legend. Do you think she will fight Zhang similar to how she fought Andrade? Yeah, but I mean, different fight, different fighters, so no fight is the same, and I do think that her approach to Zhang's going to be slightly different because it is on paper, it is a tough fight. It is a tougher fight on paper, so, and Weili does things differently than Andrade and the striking and how she pressures, so I think it'll be a little different. But I think she'll come out, kick heavy, patient, not getting any wild exchanges. I don't think she'll try to punch her way in the clinch to get the wrestling like Dern would do. But I think she'll skate around the outside, throw kicks, and I think she'll frustrate Weili. Let Weili come to her. Weili's shorter reach. She's got to get in. She's got to make it a close range fight. That's how she always fights. She has to get in close to land her combos. And I think the longer Suarez could take advantage of that, get a hold of her, shoot under the pressure, level change, and get her takedown. Get her takedowns. Enter Jose Aldo. I was like such a casual in the sport when I watched UFC 200. Like, I did not realize how special Aldo versus Edgar 2 was when it happened. Former UFC, WEC champ, wins. Most wins in UFC, featherweight WEC history. There's some crazy stats there, though, for Aldo. If this camera flips or falls one more time, I'm turning off my cam. I don't want to do that. I want to show my face for this, but I'm getting really annoyed. Once she gets her down, Whaley will give up her back, getting up, and boom, there's the guillotine. Yes, they usually always give up their neck trying to get back to their feet. And Suarez is a opportunist. If she sees an opportunity to take your neck, she'll take it. And she's better than Dern at finding subs on the ground because she's measured. She doesn't get too excited when she gets you down. Her approach to the grappling is so calculated. That's why she doesn't lose position when she's going for subs. Jonathan Martinez is going to chew up all those legs. I hope not. But with all those Muay Thai style and his stance and his ability to react and check leg kicks, I think he'll be good. But we'll see. Buffer is introducing Frankie Edgar. Wow, Frankie was the favorite? That's shocking. I don't know why they had. I guess because Aldo was coming off the McGregor loss. That's why they I guess that's why the odds were in favor of Frankie, but he was never beating Aldo. Oh yeah. It's gonna be crazy. Like, I'm super hyped. And Dana really did a good job for that card. He did. I hope Brundage beats Bo Nickel. I don't like that Bo's getting this opportunity. It's about to start. Aldo versus Edgar. And Edgar doesn't want to touch gloves. That surprises me. Aldo just stalking down Frankie. Frankie using these feints. Aldo's about to cook. He's about to put on a clinic right now. Jose just had his number, man. Great anti-wrestler. Superior striker to Frankie. Good at countering. Good defensive footwork when you're pressuring. He's just the perfect style to shut down Frankie. Lucando Carolina versus Carolina in the Riddle card. Are you familiar with? I've heard of her before. I haven't really seen her fight though, but I've heard of her. The crowd in favor of Frankie Edgar. Man, UFC 200 just giving me such nostalgia. Back when Nunes was on the come up and not thinking about retirement. Back when Kane was in his prime. Aldo was in his prime, fighting at the top of his game. Daniel Cormier, Anderson Silva, Brock Lesnar, Kane. Like I already mentioned Kane, but man, it's making me sad because I miss Aldo, I miss Kane, I miss Frankie. I kind of miss Amanda Nunes too. And Brock was one of my like childhood favorites. And the prelims of 200 were pretty solid too. I mean, we had Dillashaw in the prelims. Pena headlined the prelims against Kat Zingano. That was the first time I heard of Pena. Like 200 introduced me to Nunes and Pena. And that card kind of restored my love and passion for the sport, because before I wasn't fully paying attention to UFC. It was UFC 200 that like made me a hardcore again. And since 200, I was paying attention to like every weight class, from strawweight all the way to heavyweight. Aldo's just evading the blitzes of Frankie right now, feeling him out. Aldo just toyed with Frankie, man. Ooh, straight by Aldo. Nice head movement by Aldo. Aldo was so sharp in his prime, man. Like his defense in this fight looks so good. Like Frankie couldn't touch him. And it's only going to get worse as the fight goes on, too. I would have the audio on, but I'm kind of afraid that the UFC is gonna copyright strike me. And I have 2 strikes, 3 strikes, I'm out. And I think Aldo just landed a big knee. Yeah, Aldo won this round. Aldo clearly won this round. I really wish we got to see more out of Aldo McGregor, though. That's frustrating how quick that fight was. And Connor's in attendance watching this fight, too. Speaking of Connor, I'm pissed off. It was rumored we were going to get a fight announcement for, it was a good flying hook by Aldo. But we were rumored to get a fight announcement for Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler during the presser. We didn't get it. Now maybe we'll get it tomorrow. Maybe we'll get it in the middle of the 300 pay-per-view. That's what I'm hoping for, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Again, Frankie denies the glove touch. I'm just going to charge my phone, so I'm going to have my cam off for a little bit. I probably won't turn it back on because I've not had good luck with it so far, with my phone and stuff flopping all over the place. Right hand from Frankie, but no effect because he doesn't really have any power. And Frankie's already busted up, man. Misses with that head kick. Frankie just can't touch him. Can't touch him on the feet and can't take him down. I'm gonna watch their first fight at some point because I heard Edgar did like way better. I've seen highlights of it before, but Aldo just beat him easier the second time around. Joe is glazing the underdog, Frankie. Nothing new though, it's what he does. Edgar attempts another takedown, but stuffed. Yeah, Aldo was on another level that night. I wish he could have fought Conor McGregor again at 200. Like, just to see how this version of Aldo would have performed against the Mac. And he might have had a good chance at winning. Frankie just landed a good combo, but not much effect. Jabs by Aldo. Ooh, flying knee. Oh, Frankie had that take. Dang. Aldo just pushed him off. He's just throwing Edgar around the canvas every time Edgar tries to take him down. Aldo 2, Frankie 0. And he's about to dominate the last 3 rounds. Man, I remember being 16 years old watching this, not appreciating the high level performance put on by Aldo, just thinking, these are 2 lower weight class bums. It's boring. I just want to get to the bigger fights. Now, watching it years later, I'm just like in awe of what Aldo's doing. This arguably should have been the main event of UFC 200 in place of John being out of the fight. Aldo landed a big three-piece combo on Edgar right now, or just now. Who do you think will win the PFL flyweight tournament? Tyler Santos will win. I think. I hope at least. Hopefully she could work her way back in the UFC. Who do you think will win the tournament, Colostrum? Oh yeah, Dakota's the one who said, "Oh, she lost to Aaron." LOL. I would love to see Tyler shut her up. And there's just nothing Frankie can do to Aldo right now. Aldo tagged him again. But man, just even though Tyler's last opponent wasn't over, her last win wasn't over a quality opponent though. It still just shows how good she was in the UFC. It's kind of a shame she's not a part of the roster anymore. Liz does good in 5-round fights. Hopefully, Tyler's cardio will improve. Oh, I hope so too. But I don't think she'll lose to Carmouche. I think she'll finish her before it goes that far anyway, I think. Zhang definitely isn't ducking Suarez, says Bipolar Express. Well, either way, the UFC is ducking that matchup. But to be fair, she did say she wanted it as her next fight after she beat Lemos. But the UFC decided for her. I mean, it's not impossible. Like, Liz has been finished before. Let me see her record right now. Let's see if she's like this unfinishable person. Okay, never mind. She's only been like sub twice. But I think Tyla could submit her. And I think Tyla Santos could also knock her out too. And just look at their performances over Valentina Shevchenko. One of them got completely outclassed. One of them was competitive and almost won. And she went 5 rounds with Shevchenko. And without the headbutt, she wins the fight. So I don't think if Val's cardio wasn't going to be a factor against her, why would Liz? I mean, if Santos is smart, she'll definitely mix it up and use her grappling. She has to. I would like to see Dakota in the UFC eventually. How old is she? Nah, Val was not dominating anything in that fight. She lost the first round, lost the second round, lost the third round, in my opinion. I'm not sure which round was the swing round. Was it round two? That was like the deciding round. But I definitely had Valentina losing round one, without a doubt. And there's no way you can give it 4-1 Valentina. That's stupid. Yeah, so she's got to prove herself. If she can beat Tyler Santos, I would like to see her in the UFC. Jenna Bishop got some good grappling. Have you seen her fights? I've never heard of her, actually. In no way was that a clear round at all. I had that a clear 10-9 for Tyler Santos. I don't care. Okay, well, I don't know. I guess I'll have to look into her fights and stuff and see if she impresses me. Natalia Silva versus Shevchenko is amazing. I don't know if Natalia is ready for Shevchenko though, because Val, she's got the experience. She's still a top level, world class pound for pound fighter. I don't think Natalia's proven herself yet. I'd still watch though, and I would love for her to beat Val, but I don't know if that's happening. Yeah, I agree. But what would worry me though is the takedowns of Valentina, because Valentina is very well rounded. As we saw against Grasso, she can take you down at will. and she's got a good ability to control you, hold you down. So I don't know if Natalia would defend all the takedowns of Val. Because I know if Val's challenged on the feet, she will threaten you with these takedowns. She'll make it a game plan to wrestle you. For nothing Aldo. This is easy work for Jose. Oh yeah, I was impressed by her performance against Vivi. She completely dominated that fight. Easy work. I don't know who she'd fight next because Barber doesn't want to go backwards. Rose will probably say the same thing. Maybe Aaron, maybe Caitlin Chukagian. I hope she gets a good opportunity though in the division. Manon is a weight bully and needs to move up. At some point, I would like to see Minot and Furo move up to bantamweight just to make that division more interesting. True, Val mixes it up well with the grappling, but sometimes she goes for bad takedowns like the 5th round against Grasso. Yeah, but does Natalia have the level of IQ and grappling of her own to capitalize on those mistakes? Because even though Grasso's takedown defense is in question, Alexa Grasso, her grappling is still very good, and she's a good grappling opportunist and good at jumping on mistakes. I don't know if Natalia is the same in that regards. Yeah, and then she can fight Macy Barber. Although I would like that fight. Now I like her to fight Rose, Aaron. She could probably beat Aaron. Like any fight that's going to get her up the rankings, I would like. And I only want her to fight ahead because I don't really see any fights that would be exciting like behind her, you know what I mean? Like who like behind I don't want to see her fight Rebus, Viviane Araujo again, Tracy Cortez Lipsky. I want to see her fight Barber, Aaron, Manona's off the table, maybe even Jessica Andrade if she wants to come back up, man. Karine Silva. That's an interesting take because she hasn't really proven that to be true. She hasn't really proven herself.
5-0 Jose Aldo, complete shutout. Agree. Natalia versus Barber would be fireworks. Um, I want to say Natalia Silva. She should win that fight easily because she's much sharper on the feet, but you can never count out someone like Barber, someone as tough as Barber, someone as powerful as Barber. And when you're fighting Barber, it's inevitable. You're going to get hit at some point. And you need to have the chin, you need to have the composure to gut out her shots and to stick to the game plan. She's got the toughness. I think she could beat someone like Barber pretty easily. Forty 47. What round did Frank Yeager win? Frankie lost literally every single round of this fight. He did not win 2 rounds, let alone 1 round. It was a 50-45 shutout. But whatever. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Oh, there's Aldo calling out Connor cage side. I wish they ran it back. Aldo speaking English. Whaley was speaking English to that presser too. No translator needed. Sorry, I'm just distracted by this post-fight interview. But yeah, if Natalia has an average chin and a chicken heart, Barber might just outdog her and eventually like overwhelm her. So I'm going to say it's 50-50. I'm going to lean Natalia because she's more technical and a better striker, better footwork, but I would not be surprised in the slightest if Macy won. And also, Macy Barber can wrestle too. She'll mix it up and go for takedowns. So Natalia needs to have the toughness and the takedown defense. Is it raining outside your windows? It sounds like, wow, the audio is really picking it up. Yeah, it's raining. Some fighters are just different. Her jiu-jitsu is the best in the world in my eyes. Like Natalia Silva? Everyone says Mannon's a weight bully, but she might be a future champion. You never know. Oh, there's the snooze fest, Anderson Silva versus Daniel Cormier, but I have to watch every fight on this card as part of this throwback Thursday watch party. So annoying John Jones never got to be part of 200, now 300. You can just see the disappointment in DC, man. I wish Anderson Silva somehow pulled this off. I had a training video of her. Oh, you're talking about Queen? Okay, I thought so. Manon versus Kayla or Holly. Ooh, Manon Furo versus Holly Holm would be a good fight, but I think Kayla would be too much for her with the size and wrestling. I know, and he threatened to kill a drug tester too. I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna fill in my water bottle and probably get some popcorn too. All right, I'm back. Okay. I listened to Coach the other day. He said the female specimen collector was lying that Jones needs to shut up. Huh, so he thinks she was lying? That's interesting. Did he talk about this like in a video or like a live? DC's 37. This is back when he had hair. What's up, Toron Brown? What's good? I'm watching UFC 200 to prepare for UFC 300. And right now I'm on Silva versus Cormier. What fight are you most looking forward to for Saturday, Toron? Yep, sadly. But I'm hyped for that too. Man, I hope you're right though about Pereira. I mean, I hope you're right about Jamal knocking Pereira out. I want him to win so badly. I've been seeing many idiots saying max pressure will be too much for Justin. Yeah, I don't get that either. Like, they see Khabib and Charles have success through pressuring. They think Justin can't handle pressure, but what they don't realize is it's the grappling that goes with the pressure. If you're a dominant grappler and Gaethje has to worry about your ground game, your takedowns, then your pressure will break him. If you just have striking pressure alone, Gaethje thrives under that pressure. He's able to move around, find his counters, find his shots, and piece you up like he did to Tony. I know Chandler had grappling, but like he did to Chandler too, because Chandler loves to stand and bang. So I think Max trying to pressure will get him hurt. And I don't think Max is going to be able to pressure Gaethje like that. I mean, where was his pressure and volume and combos against Arnold Allen? He was worried about Arnold's power, respecting his ability to counter and throw with them. So that it's going to be the same thing against Gaethje, I guarantee it. But we'll see. Yep, exactly. A lot of people are just picking with their hearts, though. Like wishful thinking. And I love Max. I want him to win, but I just don't see it. Justin isn't going to let Max get in his rhythm. He's going to punch with Max and not let him get off the con. Exactly. Gaethje's power difference is going to be too much. And I know people like to say, don't compare Tony and Max, but they're similar. The only difference is, okay, Max has less power and is a better boxer than Tony. He's a more educated striker than Tony, but similarities is chin, cardio, toughness. They both like the pressure, and they both have volume. Yes, Tony's style is a little more autistic compared to Max, but still, both also lacked in defense. Max gets hit a lot. Tony gets hit a lot. See where I'm going with this? Both are brown skin and have back tattoos and the same haircut. I'm just kidding with that. But still, I feel like Gaethje's gonna find the exact same openings he did on Tony. Maybe Max will do better than Tony because of the striking, but not that much better. I told people, if Holloway tries to pressure Justin, Justin is gonna push him back. He will not be bullied by Holloway. He will not. It's gonna look like shades of the Tony fight and the Volkanovski trilogy. That's what I'm seeing. Holloway and Ferguson are very similar. They will pressure the hell out of you. They both have good cardio too. Exactly. Fighters like Holloway and Ferguson, you have to take them out early. If not, they'll take over. I thought that was going to be the case for Tony against Gaethje, and he did not take over. So I don't think he'll help Max either. Oh yeah, Holloway and Ferguson would have been a great fight. That fight could have happened too, but Tony turned Max Holloway down. That's why Dustin was given that fight. Max volume won't affect Gaethje. I know, man. With Ferguson's L streak and him being washed, I don't know if Max is gonna want it, man. Man, Anderson Silva looked good in this fight against DC. Aside from being taken down, he actually looked really good in comparison to like the Adesanya fight, the Cannonier fight, the Hall fight. But Cormier's wrestling was just too much. Yeah, but Zombie hasn't. He recently had fought for the belt, was only coming off one loss in a row. Tony is unranked and coming off like 8 straight losses, so we'll see. I just don't think that would be good for Tony. But maybe you're right. Man, this fight's so boring. I wish Silva pulled this off. He would have won if it was 5 rounds too. And the way he devastated DC at the end with that body kick, man. I'm glad the UFC is letting fighters wear their custom shorts instead of those lame ass shorts, basic shorts. Yes, I agree. Now I can confidently say if Chuck Liddell fought, not in the Reebok era, not in the early days of the Venom era, but in this era, if we saw the likes of Liddell, Silva, Rampage, Tito, they would all have their trademark shorts, but just in Venom design, basically. So, I don't like Pereira's shorts. Whaley's kit looks fire. I like Max's floral shorts. They look pretty good. Ref stood them up. He wasn't trying to have any of that lay and pray stuff. But DC gonna lay on him again. Man, I hate that that Silva lost to Bisbing. Just touching DC is making DC uncomfortable. Body kick by Silva. Leg kick. DC's landing on him though. Silva lost that fight. I thought he won. Uh, I don't think he won that fight. I thought Cormier won in a clear 29-28. I thought he clearly won the first couple rounds. I wish Silva won, though. I really do. Yeah, I don't like Justin's shorts. They have the American flag design, but they should have went with the actual red, white, and blue. That would have been fire on those shorts. Now, the one fight I thought Silva won that he lost was the Bisping fight. Head kick by Silva. I remember me and my mom are going crazy in the living room watching round 3. Silva's touching him. Oh, takedown. I know, 8 years, man. That's crazy. 8 years went by fast, eh? I was like 16 years old. Well, I was 15 going on 16, but it was on my birthday month. I was a teen back then, man. Yeah, I mean, UFC 200 and the Bisping Silva fight, yeah. And DC just laying on Silva, making it boring. I'm glad Big John stood them up, though. Yep. Oh, you were 8 in 2016. Damn, so you were like... Wow, you're like 16 now? Were you watching UFC when you were 8 years old? They're up. Oh, 21. Okay. I was about to say, man. So you're like... So you're 29 now, then. You're 5 years older than me. '29. Wow. And I'll be 24 in July. Here's the kick. The body kick. Yep. I thought Silva did more in that third round. He did less than I remembered. I hope the UFC continues to let their fighters wear custom shorts, and not just for UFC 300. Let's get rid of these ugly basic shorts. Yep. Although I will miss the black and gold champ shorts, though, if that's the case. Those are fire. But other than that, yeah, I didn't like the basic stuff. I wish Jones Cormier went down at UFC 200. And I wonder if John would have still got the head kick finish on DC. And if he would have fought Anthony Johnson after as well. Because I remember Cormier was supposed to fight Rumble. Well, he did fight him, but it got delayed. But yeah, he was next in line. That sucks. 30-26. I give Silva the last round. This card was just such good nostalgia, man. Like Brock, Anderson Silva on the same card, Cain Velasquez. These Joe's about to interview Anderson Silva. Yeah. I heard the UFC though is trying to be like the NFL, NBA, these other sports organizations, having their athletes all wear custom or wearing these uniforms. But I don't watch other sports really, but do other athletes get tied down to wearing sponsorships. Hold on. Okay, the mic is back. Dang, Silva's nose is bleeding, and Silva's not a guy who really bled a lot in his prime. But that started to change after he lost the title. Silva called Jacare the next champion. It never happened. He could have been champ though if Michael Bisping actually wanted to fight top contenders. But Jacare should have been given a title shot or the interim title shot at Yoel instead of taking the Whitaker fight. And now Lesnar Hunt is next. Man, I wish Lesnar didn't fail that drug test and could have stuck around. Really unfortunate. I remember being like so hyped though for Brock Lesnar's return. Could you imagine though if he actually managed to come back for this card 300? But I wish he followed through with the DC fight though. I'm kind of annoyed how like he went in the octagon, was cussing in DC's face, pushed him, but then never took the fight. I mean, Stipe deserved the rematch. Don't get me wrong. It's justice that Stipe got the rematch, but I wish Cormier could have got that retirement fight with Brock. Of course he did better in WWE, because that's fake fighting. That's not real. And he's always scripted to win. UFC, the stuff is real. You don't script this stuff. Although some would debate otherwise. This is a conversation for another time. That would have been sick. I don't know why the UFC couldn't do that. Yeah, exactly. Bryce gets to wear his camo shorts.
Brock Lesnar's about to make his entrance. All right, the camera's back for this last half of the live. You can never trust this freaking tripod. I need to get a new camera tripod, man. Okay, so no more comments, I guess. We got a second viewer chiming in. It's funny, I just watched Brock fight yesterday against Mark Hunt. Or sorry, against Frank Mir at UFC 100. And that was a great performance by Brock. There's his WWE like entrance. I mean, he fought a smart game plan against Frank Mir. The way when he went to the ground with him, he closed the guard, gave him no space to hold on. Okay, I was trying to wonder. I was listening out for why he had the Canadian flag, but yeah, I thought a great game plan though. Like close the guard, use that size. Don't let Frank use his jiu-jitsu and just clobbered him. And honestly, Brock should have won the first fight with Frank Mir, but he got screwed over badly by Steve Mazzagatti when he stood them up because he thought he saw a back of the head shot, but Brock was gonna knock him out in the first round, knocked him out in the second fight, so the better fighter won after all. Well, there's Mark Smith patting down Brock. Brock is such a tank, man. This is good. Good shit. Tart and juice. This fight's also boring, but I feel like the only entertaining fights on 200 on the main card was Tate versus Nunes and Velasquez versus Brown. I was eating popcorn earlier for any of those wondering what I was crunching on. Let me adjust my chair. Remember Melvin Gillard, man? That dude was a beast back in the day. Huge KO power. Oh, yeah, he was good. A little inconsistent in his UFC career, but he was a beast. And he fought your guy, Justin Gaethje, too. And he fought Israel Adesanya, which is insane. Sam Stout. I've heard that name before. He was a Canadian mixed martial artist. Huh, I've heard that name. He fought Yves Edwards. I thought that was Anthony Rumble Johnson. I don't remember seeing him fight, though, but I just remember that name. Yeah, he is. I know, I just found that out. Brock Lesnar's just being patient right now, moving around, trying to find the perfect opportunity to shoot a takedown. Oh, Brock missed the takedown there. There's a takedown. And down Hunt goes. And Brock is a beast on top. I think Justin beat Melvin Gillard. Yeah, he did. He did. Wasn't that a split decision, though? Which, if it was, it's crazy because if two other judges would have given it to Melvin, Gaethje's first loss would be to Melvin Gillard and not Alvarez. Was it unanimous or split though? Wow, so that's 10 years ago. Let me see if that was like a split though. Yeah, it was a split decision. That's insane. That could have easily been Gaethje's first loss. Like, could you imagine? But I like that he got to come into the UFC with that undefeated record. Like, I think he was 18-0 or something. Brock lands some good ground and pound shots. Oh, yeah, Brock's beating on him. But Hunt did a good job taking advantage, getting back up. Wow, right into mount. That sucks. This fight was ruined by that failed drug test, though, by Brock. Because if he didn't fail that drug test, he could have been ranked in the UFC, could have been opened up for some bigger matchups down the line in the heavyweight division. Instead, he just fails the drug test, gets suspended, and goes back to WWE. Man, Brock was one of my favorite fighters growing up. Like, I really enjoyed watching Lesnar fight. Man, Brock cowering out of his UFC return in 2018 annoys me. I wonder if he just didn't want to deal with USADA and being in the testing pool. I don't know. I hope UFC 300 lives up to the hype, though. I'll be like disappointed if it's just a boring card and overhyped. But my night will be perfect if Jamal wins,
Charles wins, Whaley wins, and Max wins. If I get those 4, I'm good. But I won too much at 299, so I'll probably face some disappointments to store the balance this weekend. Sprawl there by Mark Hunt, but he's not able to time anything on the feet. For some reason, I think Justin and Max is going to be a big war like we think. You think it will or you don't think? Because you're saying like we think. So you mean it won't be a big war? Like you think it'll be like a one-sided beatdown? I don't think Holloway and Gaethje won't be a war. Why not? You think that it'll be more boring than expected? I got a feeling it could be boring. Damn, I would be disappointed. Do you think Gaethje will win a boring decision? That'd be such a letdown though, because like we're all hyped for this fight. It's UFC 300, so that fight better deliver. It better. Because UFC 200 was stacked, but a lot of the fights were not exciting. So I don't want I don't want 200 to or 300 to suffer the same fate. Those two guys like each other. They're gonna be afraid to engage with each other. Yeah, I think Max won't push the pace that he needs to, and Gaethje won't want to gas out. He's gonna want to take a measured pace and not risk gassing himself out. Okay, now I can kind of see what round Hunt won in this fight because it was 29-28. So Hunt won the second round against Brock. Oh, I pray to God it's not that levels of boring. But I know during that fight, I'm going to be like on the edge of my seat for all 5 rounds. I'm going to be like, ooh, is Gaethje going to catch him? Is he going to gas? But if the fight ends up like that, I'm definitely not going to be rewatching it. One and one so far. I think Hunt got that round. But yo, Ngannou Lewis was so disappointing, man. Psych, nah, I'm just messing with you, bro. Holloway and Gaethje gonna be in fight of the night. Yeah, I think so too. I think Max is gonna go out in his shield in this fight. He might get his ass beat, but he's gonna go out swinging. Dana promised 300K, so Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje better fight their asses off. I think that 300,000 is going to motivate a lot of fighters to really be exciting. Like the 300,000 bonus adds some extra stakes to this card, which I like. What did Dan Mergliotta say? Brock didn't look that good in this fight, honestly, even on the juice. $300,000 on UFC 300 though. That's pretty insane. I know the crowd gonna be going crazy when Justin Gaethje and Holloway start exchanging hands. Oh yeah. I mean, we're gonna hear heavy crowd pops this Saturday. Like the crowd's gonna be cheering for Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, Gaethje as well, Whaley, and Alex Pereira. What makes you think though that Jamal Hill gets the job done, Toron? I'm interested to know your breakdown on that fight. And you saw, I think you commented on my UFC 300 prediction video, right? You saw all my picks? Yeah, Armin Sarukian just laying in his guard. That could happen. But explain the Jamal Hill pick, though. But yeah, I think Armin's gonna win, unfortunately. But the good thing is, if you're watching my videos and you're seeing my takes on Armin, I've never been correct picking against Oliveira. Never. Every time I picked against him, he's proven me wrong with Chandler, Dustin, Kevin Lee, and when I've picked for him, I've been in his recent run, in his blonde run. When I've picked for him, I've been 2-1 because I got him over Gaethje, Beneil, but I was wrong about him beating Islam. So I hope I'm wrong about Armin winning, but I just think Armin's gonna win because he's got the wrestling, he's got the top control. I feel like he'll be willing to go to the ground with Oliveira. I think he can shut down the bottom game of Charles. Yeah, I just don't think Charles is going to be effective off his back. And I don't know if this takedown defense is going to be any good. On the feet, he has an advantage, but when it goes to the ground, I think Armin's just going to smother him. Still didn't explain the Hill pick, though. I've been asking you, Toron. Okay, Jay Hill's going to catch him. Alex P leaves his chin in the air. You've seen what Jiri was landing on him. If Hill starts landing, he will not be letting Alex off the hook. And he won't be as open as Yuri, too, because Yuri just got so complacent with his defense and got him crack coming in. But Jamal Hill does drop his hands, too. When he throws the 1-2 straight left, he leaves himself open. So hope he doesn't get caught coming in. But yeah, I really hope that Jamal sparks Pereira. Just because I feel like Jamal's time as champ is incomplete. Just like Yuri. Great performance against Glover. He was going to fight Yuri to defend his belt. He never got that proper title run. So I want him to pick up where he left off. Yeah, I could see Aljo making it boring, being cautious on the feet, and then just stalling with the grappling. But there's also a chance Calvin Kattar could chin him, and that would be exciting. Up, Doc. What's up, Doc? What's up, Ivani? I'm gonna be going with Sterling. Me too. I feel like Aljo's gonna get it. Same. 29-27 for Brock. Yeah, I think Cody's getting chinned, and I had a dream about that too. I had a dream he got delayed reaction KO'd, but I just feel like the durability difference is going to be a factor. The real main event is the main event. Pereira Hill. I don't really put any other fight on this card over it, to be honest. Man, why did Brock have to fail the drug test after? He should not test his striking against Kattar. He'll get knocked out if he does. But yeah, I got Figgy winning this fight too. I just think, I mean, Cody could win. He's got the size, the height, the speed, the footwork, but he's going to have to make it really boring. But he's going to have to engage at some point. And I feel like the moment he engages, it's going to favor Figgy. And Cody, his boxing's too predictable. He throws too many hooks. And exchanging hooks on the inside with Davison is just going to be too dangerous. And I think in the moment they get in those pocket exchanges, I think Figgy's going to knock him out. Or if Cody goes for a takedown, Figgy's got a nasty guillotine. He might be the first man to sub Cody. All right, Nunes versus Tate is about to start. The first fight that introduced me to Amanda. Man, where are all these crowd cams? Like, I remember, like, I feel like Fight Pass cut some stuff out on here. Because when I watched the pay-per-view on, like, cable, I remember they were showing, like, the promo for McGregor Diaz 2. They were showing Conor McGregor ringside with Justin Timberlake. You know, they were even showing Robbie Lawler. I think Fight Pass must have edited some of the crowd cams out. Or maybe I just haven't been paying attention. I don't know. Yep, I've been saying Cody that if Cody tries to exchange in the pocket, his ass will get knocked out. Yeah, and I want Cody to win because he'll get a ranked win, 3 fights in a row, and then he can potentially be back in title contention if he get a top 5 guy. But I don't know, man. Figgy's a different level from his last 2 wins. Like, the reason why Cody's won 2 fights in a row is because of the level of competition he's been given. Man, Misha did a lot of talking ahead of this fight, saying that Nunes is weak and she's going to break her, and didn't age well. Tate talked about taking damage and coming back. And that didn't age well because she took damage against Nunes and wanted out. Like, the choke wasn't in and she tapped because she didn't want to take more of a beating. Like, I think she was just shocked at how hard Nunes hit. All right, Nunes entering the octagon. Yeah, I agree. Super Sadiq and Lopez is going to be a banger. You got 2 heavy-hitting featherweights. I just think Lopez is going to be too dynamic, though, in the striking. I think he's tougher. I think Sadiq's chinnier. And I think Lopez has the advantage on the ground. So I think Lopez is probably going to find that sub, if I'm being honest. I'm going to pick Super Sadiq. I mean, it's possible. I think he has a good chance for sure. I mean, he is a dangerous striker for sure, but I feel like a lot of what he has is like an overhand and a leg kick. And I think Diego's going to be prepared for that. The birth of Amanda Nunes' run, man. Hindsight is a crazy thing because, again, I did not see this coming. I did not see that dominant reign coming. But it makes sense Nunes was as dominant as she was because women's bantamweight is just so far behind her. Nunes had the power advantage over all the bantamweights, striking, strength, and she's well-rounded. She can take you down. Her jiu-jitsu's good. Her IQ's good. So it kind of makes sense that she went as far as she did. Because she's, got God-given power. It's power that you can't train, you just have. Lopez doesn't really have the best defense either on the feet. Go watch some of his Contender Series fights. Yeah. And didn't he lose on the Contender Series too? I swear he lost. I could be wrong, though. There's Misha Tate in her entrance trying to psych herself up. Misha just gave that energy that she wasn't going to win that fight. Like, I just saw that loss coming from a mile away. Like, even in not knowing Nunes, just watching the highlights, I could just read the room. It's crazy that Misha Tate's like still competing. Because Nunes pretty much retired her. I mean, Raquel retired her, but I didn't think Tate was ever coming back, and now she's like actively competing. That's right. Misha won her last fight too. She's 2-2 in her last 4 fights. Well, I don't think she'll ever be champ again, though. Nunes is about to put on a career-changing beatdown. I'm picking Charles to beat Arman. I could see it, though. I mean, if Oliveira cannot depend on his ground game so much, and he focuses on stuffing takedowns, and his takedown defense is good, and as long as his defense on the feet is on point, he should be able to outstrike Arman. And I could see him knocking Arman out, or maybe he catches Arman in a guillotine. That's possible too. And I mean, that performance over Joaquin Silva is concerning, but people said the same thing about Leon against Nate, that, oh, Nate rocked him, so he's overrated, and he won't beat Usman. Now he's beat Usman twice and is the champion who's defended the belt twice. So, yes, he got rocked by Silva, but what if he goes on to beat Oliveira and then beats Islam? You know what I mean? We can never go based off that one moment where a fighter got hurt, because that's not the whole picture. But I'm rooting for Charles. Man, Nunes came so far from this fight. Why is he in his head? Because in the presser, it seemed like Hill was a little more emotional, but please explain. I like to know. I mean, I would hope he's in Pereira's head. I want Pereira to get emotional and get caught. But what has Hill done that makes you think, or what is Alex showing that indicates Hill is in his head? The bottle Hill had trigger. Oh yeah, I mean that did get Alex to kind of talk some shit, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna make him remember this moment." But Alex seems very stoic. They touch gloves. Here we go. I'm commentating an old fight. Yeah, he did look kind of flustered. Man, this was the true coming out party for Nunes, and she fought like the perfect fight, man. The patience she displayed in this fight, the pacing, and then her takedown defense. Like, I mean, this fight came down to Nunes' cardio and her defensive wrestling. And she finished it early, but I mean, if Tate couldn't work her takedowns, it was a wrap. Because she was never beating Nunes on the feet. Takedown by Misha, but Nunes right back up. I remember this moment. Yeah, once Nunes escaped the first takedown, it was over for Tate. And then she starts putting hands on Tate. Tate really never stood a chance against Nunes, man. That's crazy. I wasn't, honestly. He never keeps his hair. He always like goes buzz cut, shave. He always balds for his fights, so ooh, knee by Nunes. I would have loved for Pereira to keep his hair. I mean, that's the hair he fought Izzy with. Like, that's a good callback. Him fighting with that hair, but unfortunately, it's just not his thing. Nunes is just touching Tate up right now. Ooh. I remember how brutal this beatdown was. Like, Tate was just overwhelmed and just didn't know what to do, but just survive. Ooh, she's hurt. Yep, she drops. Big knee by Nunes. Mmm. Nunes to the back. And it's going to be a wrap. It's not even under the chin, and Tate immediately tapped. It was not under the chin, but that was a mental tap. She didn't submit to the choke. It wasn't because she was being strangled. Because she could have got out of that. She had Pena in the same position where the arm was around the jaw. But the reason why Misha tapped is because her nose was broken, her face was in pain, and she wanted out. She wanted no more, no mais. And this happened after she said, "Oh, I can take damage and I can keep coming. I'm gonna break Nunes." But when she was in there and took those shots, she's like, "Nah, I want none." And Nunes is getting emotional. Just a dominant performance by Nunes, man. crazy to say the then champ was not on Nunes's level. And I remember Nunes instantly became one of my favorite fighters. Like, I was stoked when she won this fight. And this was the beginning of a dominant run for Nunes. I wish it ended with her losing the belt to Irene Aldana, but whatever. Misha's just like bewildered. Like, I can't believe that just happened. Can't believe I got beaten so easily, like a chump. Man, Nunes has really destroyed Tay. I watched this fight like 1,000 times when I was 16 years old. Let's see if Brazil got their first champion in women's MMA. Let's see if Brazil loses another champ, though, this weekend. Joe is interviewing Misha Tate now.
that's a wrap for UFC 200. So I gotta say, my review of that card is, so it was a decent card. Not the greatest card though. It's unfortunate that John Jones had to fail the drug test and couldn't headline the card. But we got some decent fights. Good finish by Kane, the last of Prime Kane. Good 5-round performance by I knew Joanna was in the crowd. I don't know why the UFC cut out the crowd cams, but good performance by Aldo. Cormier Silva boring. Brock came back, did his thing, not that entertaining, but whatever. Nunes, that was her coming out party. Great fight. This card is like nostalgia for me, man. Because again, that was the first pay-per-view that really revamped my passion for the sport. And without UFC 200, I might not be here. I mean, I'd still be alive, but without UFC 200, because I remember I wasn't planning on watching the whole card, but my mom's like, I'm gonna rent this pay-per-view. So it forced me to not just tune in for Brock or Cormier, but I watched Kane, Aldo, and I got to stick around for Nunes. And because of all that, I just became interested in the other weight classes, featherweight, lightweight. I became invested in women's bantamweight again with a new champion. And because of UFC 200, there's a reason why DJC Combat is here and making all these videos. It's all because of UFC 200. Now we get to witness 300 this weekend, and I can't wait. But that concludes this live. Thank you for watching.